Hi, I'm Adam from Willmott and Lake Estate Agents, and today you join us for our very first local business spotlight. In this series, we hope to shine a spotlight on some of the fantastic independent businesses that make our town what it is. Today, I'm at a personal favourite of mine, the Belgian Brewer, so come with me and we'll take a look around. So today I'm here with Nick, who runs the Belgian Brewer. Obviously we're quite familiar with these guys here, but perhaps if you could say a little bit about, you guys and what you do for those that don't know Nick.
Absolutely. So that's a little bit of history. I'm from Belgium. I was born near Antwerp. And about 10 years ago, as a family reunion, and I discovered I had a brewer in the family. After quite a few too strong beers, agreed to set up a brewery in England because I was already working here quite a few years, working in IT, and so started to learn a bit about brewing in my garage, and it took me about 3 years to learn how to brew Belgian beers. It's not that simple, but after 3 years I rent the corner of somebody else's brewery. Brewed a few beers on the license with them. And then we did Bishop Stortford Christmas market. And that was in 1998.
Wow.
1998, and sold out.
Wow.
And so I was like, oh my God, that's really great. Unfortunately, the guy we rented the corner of the brewery from was also on the market. He didn't do so well. So he kicked us out that evening. He was very angry because because it's a new product, it's not very common in the UK to get Belgian style beers. We gave everybody samples and people liked it, so I buy it. And I was like, we were very happy. But at the end, it's like, oh, nobody... They all bought your beer, not mine. It's just like, you ruined my Christmas. And it's like, oh my God. And then the 19th of January, this unit particularly became free. Got going, typically doing a bit of off license here and then go to markets. It's great. And then summer rolls around. It's just like, hold on, let's do an open day. It's like bank holiday open days. Let's do in May, one in August. It's like, this sounds like perfect. These open days, it was packed out here. I was just like, my God, I gotta open a tap room, right? Because there seems to be demand for this product. Open up the tap room, and then I guess people still remember 3 weeks later we had lockdown. So that was really, really difficult, but kept operating as an off license, and people are extremely supportive in the area. So many people coming and buy little six packs to drink at home, and at some point probably came routine for many people just to walk out here, get a few beers, because you know what, you were in lockdown. You got to do something. And then after lockdown, the two units next door, they became available. With a little bit of help from the customers. We expanded, much bigger brewery now next door. And then an event hall at the end, which is obviously where we know each other from the charity quiz. And so now everything's starting to kind of accelerate, which is amazing. Really, really happy. We're very busy, kind of buzzing, which is absolutely what you need as a small business. Is just kind of have that momentum. It's all great fun, and obviously product is quite nice. So
So in terms of kind of the product, obviously I know Belgian beer is a little bit different to maybe what a lot of people have, and obviously from you guys, I'm very much aware that you kind of use traditional methods in brewing.
Absolutely. So the flavor profiles come from the malt and from the fermentation, from the yeast. And most English ales, the flavor comes from the malt and the hops. And so if you think about stouts, etc., this is very malt based. Whilst if you look at the IPAs, it's very hoppy and very bitter. Whilst our flavors come from the fermentation, so there's more fruitiness and spiciness that sits in Belgian beer. So that's the main difference. Obviously, creating the recipes to get these flavors out of your yeast is quite complex. And therefore, not everybody can be successful at doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've had samples from other breweries, and I think about 70-80% missed the mark.
Okay.
There are a few that do it quite well,
Okay.
and some of them are surprisingly nice.
Yeah.
But it is not easy.
No.
It's not easy. It takes more time. It takes more energy.
Yeah.
And it takes more process control, and that's costly.
Yes.
As a small independent,
Yeah.
it is a lot easier to say, actually, you know what, I don't mind spending 2-3 hours to make that beer a lot better, whilst other bigger brewers go like 3 hours of 3 hours of energy, 3 hours of staffing, maybe not. And they try to cut corners, and that's what we find.
Yeah.
Those who try to stick to the original processes do it very well.
Okay.
Those who trying to rush the process do it very
Not good.
And that's the big challenge with Belgian beer. When I was, like I said earlier, when I was learning this from my cousin, that was the biggest lesson is take your time, have a beer, enjoy the process, don't rush it.
No.
It will be all right if you stick to the right inputs, the right process, the right... it can take a few weeks. It doesn't matter.
No. Get it
as long as it's right.
Yeah, true.
And it's counterintuitive for a business. You want to do it quick. You want to get the product out. You want to go. You want to. But you gotta be patient. And sometimes we do run out of things, and it's taking a little bit longer. The weather is a bit colder. The air pressure is a little bit higher or a little bit lower. It all impacts.
Oh wow!
The product. All impacts the product. So you can suddenly have a few hours longer here, a few hours longer there, a few hours longer, or days even. So when we taste the product is not fully fermented, it's a little bit too cold. We heat up the tanks. It's a little bit too hot. We cool down the tanks just to get that right flavor profile. It takes a bit of dedication
to it.
Yes, there's a lot of science to it.
So in terms of kind of the process and getting it right, I guess, for you, and when you decide to kind of do a new beer and make it, how long does that process typically take? Is it something that's, like an overnight and you think I'll get to work the next day, or is it a bit more measured?
No. That's
wishful thinking.
So I am obviously extremely fortunate to have a brewer in the family. And so we recently did a champagne beer. It's like a Brut de Vlaanderen, that's what they call it. And the main brand is Deus. They come in champagne bottles. So it's just like, okay, so how can we emulate that? And so the first thing is you got to study it. And like I said, I'm extremely fortunate. I call up Dirk. I say, Dirk, have you ever brewed one of those? He says, no, but my friend has. Let me give him a call. Give you a call back. A few hours later, I got a recipe. I got the explanation how to do it, and then I got to kind of make sure I interpret everything correctly, and then replicate it. And so sometimes we have ideas, and if you can bounce them off of somebody that has so much experience, it just puts you so far ahead of anybody else. One of the things we do experiment is fruits.
Okay.
So if our suppliers say, hey, you know what, we have a batch of peaches. Do you wanna do a peach beer? Like, great. Let's do a peach beer. We will just use the peaches and see what happens. It's not something we're gonna keep on trialing. Or two fruit beers, or cherry and our raspberry. We did do a lot of experimenting. To make sure that we have the right varieties and we use the right intensity. Meaning it's like, I think it's about 26 varieties of raspberries in case somebody wants to know. So you settle on a variety, and then you settle on the ratio on how many grams per liter are you going to use.
Okay.
And sometimes we adjust it because we taste the fruit. Actually, if it's not that fruity, we up the ratio. If it's actually very fruity, we might lower the ratio. If the berries are very thick but not very plum, but maybe not have a lot of flavor, we change the recipe. And so you learn how to do these things. You fine tune them. But if it's just a one-off. we're not, because people aren't expecting that same product all the time.
Yeah.
So when or raspberries and cherries will have seasonal variation in a sense, but if you do a peach beer or something like that, it's just this is what it is. We just done a small batch. We could get the fruit, and we did a few years ago. We had a cassis beer that was really nice, and then we had that same mixed fruit a few years later, and it tastes completely different.
Oh wow!
Yeah. It's just and so you don't know.
Yes.
And because we didn't do that due diligence, you might end up with products that kind of are. And if you wholesale to somebody, you just go like, if you buy a carton of orange juice, and the next week you buy that same brand, tastes completely different.
Yes.
It's not good. It's not good business.
No.
And so some things you need to be very consistent about. But our experimenters were very kind of. Let's learn what we should do and then try it.
Absolutely. It sounds like you've used kind of everything you can do in terms of the ingredients. I mean, is there anything that stands out as a particularly unusual ingredient that people might not expect?
We one of the spices we use quite a lot coriander.
Okay.
And orange peel, sweet orange peel. It's in a lot of beers, but actually you don't perceive the flavor. It's in there to give a underlying body, an underlying taste that you actually, if you do it right, you wouldn't tell there's coriander in any of our beers.
I would never.
But there is. Just to give it that body, that mouth feel, to make it taste a little bit rounder. And that's something that is very important to kind of make a nice round beer that's very drinkable. And I think that's the biggest challenge is keep beers drinkable. Sometimes you go out, it's like, we have this new IPA, we have this new little thing, and then you drink it.
Quite questionable.
I can have half a can, but that's about it.
The limit.
That's the limit. And we do the opposite. So our beers have very high drinkability. And that's something my cousin drummed into me. It's like, you're a small business, people have to come back. So you have to make that beer drinkable, because if you have to market to sell your beer once to everybody, you need a massive marketing budget. It is absolutely so difficult. And that's one of the biggest, that and consistency are the two biggest things I've learned from here. It's just like, it's so important.
Well, from our side, obviously, we ran the quiz with you guys last year. And the amount of people, when we told them that obviously we were running a quiz here, had said, well, I've sampled you guys, whether it's here or obviously in the town at E17, I know obviously you sell there, and said, it's fantastic, we love it. So I think in terms of the, the reoccurring business and recommendations, you guys have got it, spot on. Which
but exactly. But if you don't provide a good service, you don't buy a good product.
Absolutely.
But it is two things. It's just about service, consistency, having a good product. Our place, we're on an industrial estate. It isn't the most amazing thing. We don't have a massive beer garden. But it has its quirks.
Yes, absolutely.
We're very grateful for people that walk in here every weekend to come and have a few drinks. But we have people that come here every weekend. And that's the key thing. That's what we try to do.
Absolutely. And for maybe people that aren't particularly beer heads and don't drink a tremendous amount of beer, what would be your, for anyone watching, essentially, what would be your recommendation?
So I think, first of all, if you walk in here for the first time and either you're speaking to myself or any of the staff, if you say, it's the first time here, everybody will offer you, they'll ask you, first question, what do you enjoy drinking? And then based on what your answer is, we will try to either match you with some of the beers we have, because they're much more softer, they're not as bitter, they're not as hoppy, and actually it is quite encouraging on how many ladies that drink our beer, because it's so drinkable. And so we'll try to match whatever the product is you say, we try to match the flavor with it. And if not, we have a full bar. So we do all the spirits, we have the wines, we have the ciders, we do some cocktails, obviously we got soft drinks. So we have a full bar anyway. But it's always nice to try to surprise somebody with something they don't expect. for example, our Pinot Noir beer. So we have a beer that actually tastes like wine.
I know. I remember sampling it before, and really surprised. That
and it's
quite
so
unique.
it's such a unique thing, and that's the sort of reaction that you get. And even if people try 2-3 things and says, actually, you know what, I'll have a glass of rosé.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Typically, people come here with their partners.
Yes.
One of the two, or with friends.
Yeah.
Some of them will have beer, others will have cider. It doesn't really matter.
absolutely.
At the end of the day, you're not. And this is another kind of lesson. Is you're not actually creating a brewery. You're creating a community space.
Yeah.
Space where people can feel welcome, where they can have a drink, where they can chat, and yeah, we got a lot of people that just come here to be with friends rather than come here to drink our 9.5% triple. Yeah. Because you wouldn't have too many of those anyway. Yeah. But I think that's important as well, to just create a welcoming environment.
So in terms of obviously the venue you've got here, for those that are watching, if they don't fancy doing a proper tour as such, but still want to come, I know you guys obviously run a lot of events throughout the year, so lots of quizzes. Obviously we held one, but also other events. So I saw.
Yeah, so we do a lot of things. So every other week, typically, we have a quiz. Okay. Every 6 weeks, we do a music quiz, which is absolutely one of the biggest quizzes held in town. Yeah. There's up to 100 people in the hall. It is an absolute blast. Then in a few weeks' time, we actually have Bashenda here. Okay. So actually, this is on Saturday, by the way. Yes. So there's some DJs, 80s, 90s music. We do Oktoberfest. Yes. Which is absolutely fun. We actually brew an Oktoberfest beer like a 4.5% Oktoberfest beer, because obviously you're drinking Stein, so it's just a little bit bigger volume. Yes. So it's a little bit lower in alcohol. Yeah. Every year we have a birthday party. Okay. And we do barbecues and other things during the days. We have bike meets, and so forth. We do a lot of private parties as well. There's not a lot of space in Stortford that where you can have a private party. Event space is difficult. There are a lot of community halls, but then you got to bring your own music. We have that all built in. You got to bring your own bar. You gotta for sure get all that done. And so we're trying to make it easy kind of things. It's like actually, you just connect your music to the system, and we do the bar. There's lights. There's everything's there. So again, it's about making it easy for customers. Correct. So that's one of the things we do as well. Quite absolutely.
And that's available in the hall.
It's in the hall next door. So if people want to know about it, just send us an email and then
reach out to you.
We'll
absolutely.
And I think that's the sort of great thing about being ourselves, is that we kind of look after people, try to do our best. Yeah, we make mistakes. We always do. It's just like it's just like even last barbecue we had, we were just a little bit understaffed. But you do your best, and some of the customers, they just are nice enough to bring in some empties and things like that. And I think that's about community spirit. It's about nobody wants to see all the tables, and they just help us out, and it's just nice. I think that's the great thing what I like about it. So really happy. I can't be more delighted with how it has gone. Obviously, lockdown. It was like, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna lose my business, or am I gonna get through that? But we're in a good situation. We're busy. Good. And it's a great community now.
That's what you want. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll kind of round it out. So for anyone that's maybe watching but haven't obviously tasted the beers that you can create, if they don't want to come to here, you guys are sold in the town. So
so we're in Eat 17, and then we're in the car park in the cafe in the park. We are it's Peaches now changed name, isn't it?
Yes.
So you
did the collab with Peach, I remember.
So they have our beers there. sometimes the beer shop in town has some of our beers on draft. I think at the moment they have our champagne blonde.
Oh wow!
And then Essentials at the Maltings is a little convenient store, so they do our beers as well. And then Ronnie's in town.
Yes.
And then Smoked Barbecue Kitchen. So this is kind of roughly what we do in town. You never know, there might be other places popping up.
No, I'm sure.
We're doing our best, and then we hope to further expand. We're actually at the moment on the beer mile in Bermondsey, and then the mash battle in the tap room.
Yes.
And then Tatum Attitude, which is a brewery near Malden.
Okay.
They have 3 of our beers in draft as well. So it's really starting to grow, and we're really happy that people actually trust us.
Yes. Yeah.
And trust our beers to kind of put on, which is again, is not straightforward to kind of be consistently in a place. People try to switch over, or they have bad experiences, and so it's very delighted with that.
Oh, good. Well, thank you again for having me. I would recommend, if you haven't obviously been up here to have a really good look around, do so. Obviously the brewery tour that Nick mentioned would be fantastic. But any questions you have, contact Nick and
just via our socials or on the website.
Yeah, for sure. No,
just walk in. The door is always open.
No, I appreciate it. Well, thank you very much, Nick.
Pleasure.
Lovely to see you again.
Thank you.